Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today for March 4th, 2021. I'm the man they call Meathead. And joining me again Thursday mornings, it's Matthew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew.
Good morning. Always fun to talk to you on Thursdays after a night of exciting wrestling action on Wednesdays.
Yeah. Big time wrestling action on Wednesday nights. And, we could probably sell the show that happens before the show, but it'd have to be after dark or, NC-17 or whatever. But, following the topic we were talking off air, let's talk about the topic we talk about on air, which is our sponsor, manscaped.com. Make sure you're getting yourself silky smooth, get yourself all cleaned up. You want that Sierra Forest to get back down to a Sierra Desert. Use the promo code PWR, save yourself 20%. Dave Hero wants it silky smooth. We all want it silky smooth. Cut down that 70s afro and go with the hardwood floor or even maybe a nice throw rug with manscaped.com. And Matthew, we were talking about this off air as well. I'm excited for my Festus Face shirt that's coming in the mail from collarandelbowbrand.com. I use my promo code PWR360. I saved myself 10%. That and the Irish Whip for St. Patty's Day. Get those shirts on over at collarandelbowbrand.com. They got a lot more good stuff over there. I know the Dilo, Real Deal Now. There's a bunch of other good brother stuffs, Bueno Hermanos, and so forth. Matthew, what are you thinking about picking up?
I need to check back and see if my size of the Waffle House shirts come back in stock.
You were like a toddler, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a child small.
A child small. That's why you look so muscular.
Yes, exactly. You can't tell everybody my secrets. I was quite upset though when Kids R Us went out of business.
Yeah. I mean, it was all bought up by -1.
Oh yeah, -1 with some impressive screen time last night.
Yeah, some screen time last night. All right, let's talk a little bit of news that we have going on tonight or this morning or from last night. There is talk that the tickets will be announced to go on sale for WrestleMania 37 within the next week. They are still working out safety protocols, but there should be an announcement for tickets to WrestleMania 37 both nights within the next week. Matthew, are you going to be heading down? Because I know that if we get a crowd down in Tampa, we're going to try to run a shenanigans as well.
Yeah, it's not out of the question. I haven't committed one way or another. I mean, so much of that's with all these variables up in the air. But my goodness, it would be fun to go to a Mania, whatever that looks like, and whatever
that is. Yeah,
that could be. And I mean, there or not there, I think that it will still translate wonderful on TV. I mean, this is probably going to be there is a very, very high likelihood that the crowd you have there in Florida is the hottest wrestling crowd you will ever see.
Yeah, and I wonder if, because the talk was, what was it, 15, 20,000, 25,000, something like that. They're going to be able to go a little bit over what the Super Bowl did. Yeah. But I would wonder if they'd still do the private suites. Could we do a sweet and sexy?
Interesting. Or pod and sexy,
Pod and sexy, that's right. And, to be honest, because as much as I like people, I don't like people. The seating arrangements might be the best in town because, again, I get that spacer seat, just like when you go with your buddy to the movies and you have to have that seat between you.
Yeah, no, 100%. And we're actually I was talking with a friend about when the Rocky season opens up here, you're going to have, I guess the stadium, they can run about half full, or 12,500 is the number I'm hearing. But yeah, I mean, you might actually have some room to kind of stretch out. Though I think if you and I both can make it to Florida, we need like one of those little bubbles for ourselves. Just me and you. We need our own little bubble that we roll.
Not only a little bubble. Can I get a Pope Mobile?
Yeah.
Pope Mobile would be fantastic. I seriously could tool around Tampa in a Pope Mobile.
You're talking about with the Pope drives and not Pope the wrestler, right?
Right. No. Not Pope has spoken. I'm talking about like John Paul, the Meathead.
Yeah. I wonder what kind of car the Pope does drive, though, the Pope wrestler.
Oh, it's probably an Italian car, maybe a Ferrari.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because the Pope relation to, the Vatican City.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I'd like to see that happen. Maybe a Pope Mobile to shenanigans, Pope Mobile to the, the stadium for the WrestleMania night 1 and night 2. And Maybe we'll do a live broadcast from the Pope Mobile.
Oh, that would be great. I bet the acoustics would be fantastic.
Oh my God. Yeah. Unfortunately, it'd be too good because if I, end up with a case of the winds, that might be picked up by the mic as well.
It'll be like Carnegie Hall.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We don't need that. Let's talk about wrestling last night. We had AEW and we had NXT. AEW had the Crossroads, and it opened with Mr. Crossroads itself, Cody Rhodes, and the celebrity match. Now, AEW and Cody Rhodes was on a media call earlier in the day yesterday and had a lot of good things to say for Shaq. He says, look, I'm not going to say anything bad about Shaq. Shaq being a former MVP, multiple world time champion in his sport, has been training to wrestle. So, I mean, he's not going to be able to keep up with me. Obviously, I've been doing this a lot longer in my life, but Shaq won't be a joke wrestler. He will get in there and he will try to mix it up. Matthew, your thoughts on the match last night? It was a tag team match. It was Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet taking on Jade Cargill and Shaquille O'Neal.
For a mixed tag match with a celebrity who is not a wrestler, I don't think you could have asked for a better match. I think this match was exactly what it needed to be. I didn't enjoy the build just because the whole thing seemed a little bit odd and somewhat unneeded. And I understand a lot of that was magnified by the fact, that Brandy was initially planned in the Red Velvet spot, and you had to maneuver out of that. But that being said, I thought the match told a great story. I think that it was entertaining. The spots that were there were very well paced throughout the match. There were some surprises, especially with the Gun Club. I didn't see that coming. I enjoyed the heck out of it.
Yeah. I didn't think it was the best it could be. I thought we should have got more out of the women. And this match really, we talked about it yesterday morning, should have been to maybe accentuate Red Velvet. Because to be completely honest, Jade Cargill is just a physical specimen. She looks real good. I mean, she is just ripped, jacked, ready to go. And speaking of Red Velvet, Cody even mentioned it in the media call yesterday that he's hoping that she comes out, looking like roses after this match with maybe a pinfall in the, match. But Shaq's powerbomb on Cody looked real good. And wow, the table spot. Shaq, I'm taking your words from pre-show. He did not have to do that. No. He did it, and he looked good doing it.
No, not at all. And I did not expect to see Shaq get as physically involved as that. That spot came across really good. And the take home is, oh, wow, that is a much larger bump than you imagine a celebrity taking. And, I think they had an ESPN moment there. I mean, I think that was what they were kind of going for. And it looked really, really good. And I think Red Velvet's in-ring work looked fantastic.
Yep.
Jade is a star. And not just from her, from her physical presence, but her in-ring presence, her ability to emote and come across as this heel wrestler that she was trying to portray. It is she really has it down to a science, and I was really impressed. I think we need to see her and Red Velvet, on TV on a weekly basis, because that's the thing that gets me with AEW. You're talking about Red Velvet's win streak and, Jade's win streak. We hardly ever see them on Dynamite. I think those people like that, and especially Jade, you look at her and you're like, she's somebody. That's a star right there. That is the same analogy that they've used, for years in professional wrestling. You see the person walking through the airport. You're like, oh, that's somebody. That's a star. Jade has that presence. I think you need to make sure that you are getting a steady diet of her on Dynamite each week.
That's one thing I think AEW needs to work on a little bit. While they can tell us about all this great stuff that's going on the Monday night show on AEW Dark, you have to understand, AEW, that there are people that only choose to watch Dynamite and maybe either read the results for the pay-per-view or maybe get one of the pay-per-views once in a while. They do not watch that show. So all the stuff that you're telling us that happens on these other shows, they don't know about. So, you could have these, he's on a 7-match win streak. Yeah, but I didn't see any of those 7 matches.
Yeah. You've got a lot of stuff that is quote unquote canon in AEW that does not take place before, I will wager to say, the vast audience eyes. I mean, I don't know what the numbers are on the YouTube show, but looking at what AEW is doing rating wise, you've got to think that the bulk of their audience is watching Dynamite as a standalone, and you've got Dark. You're going to have another Dark show now that Paul Wight's going to be on, and you've got, being the Elite and that type of stuff that they do off air, on YouTube as well too. There's a lot of AEW. It's interesting because, you feel like you felt like for WWE, especially for years, you've got all of this content on a weekly basis. It's almost the same case with AEW, but it's not as accessible. I think that, you've got people that will set a DVR for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, but who won't necessarily go out of their way to find the AEW content, even if that means just pulling it up on a computer or a smart TV or a Roku or something. It's very interesting. WWE has their content by having it available via DVR. You set the thing one time, and it's almost passive.
And that's it right there. It's the viewing habits.
Yep, it's passive consumption of the content versus this proactive
active
content
consumption
that AEW has. Yep,
right. The other thing I want to talk about in this match, which was, I thought, touch corny. Shivani goes out to the ambulance that Shaq was just loaded into. Shivani opens the door. Shaq's gone. What is that? I thought it was kind of corny.
I don't know what we never heard it once again. Is he even kidnapped?
Well, that was a pretty long stretcher. I mean, because Shaq is 7 foot tall. So
yeah. Did Dexter Loomis get him?
Possibly. Let's talk the press conference between Demo God Chris Jericho and MJF. Out there, the media was EB from 83 Weeks Podcast, EB. Conrad Thompson from Grillin' JR. And I think I recognize that gentleman from Barstool Sports because he had somebody by the name of L.A. Knight roast him just a few weeks ago. Did I not? I mean, has he fallen into bad terms already with WWE? Will he be allowed back on their pre-shows?
Who knows? It's a very tangled web we weave in the professional wrestling world. Outside of the people posing the questions, I like this segment and the fact that we got a return. Somebody I haven't seen in a long time, and that is a fired up heel MJF.
Yeah, a lot of yelling. We also got the interaction with the Bucks coming out. Because the question from EB, Eric Bischoff from the 83 Weeks Podcast, it's obviously Eazy-E, Eric Bischoff. But how's Papa Buck? Who knows? Who cares? We are victims. He's not a martyr. I love the whole thing, and it wasn't even our idea. And then having Santana Ortiz jumping on that too. Yeah. I like this build. This was a good go home for their feud and for the match on Sunday.
Yes, I really enjoyed the Jericho MJF portion. I'm still confused as to what I'm supposed to think of the Bucks. I understand their father got assaulted last week, but this was as white meat babyface as you can get of what we saw of the Bucks, and that just really hasn't been their stick. So I'm like I said, I'm still a little bit confused as to what I'm supposed to think and feel about this tag team when I see them out there cutting promos. That being said, going back to the MJF deal, I mean, since he has been in the inner circle, it's been a fun dynamic with Jericho, but a lot of times I tend to forget exactly how dynamic he is on the mic and exactly how good he is at drawing heat, and we got to see that tonight. And I thought Jericho sounded really good tonight. We got a little bit more of a spotlight on Jericho, and I think that is a winning combination there.
Hey, I want to ask real quick. You talk about what the Bucks are supposed to be, white meat heat or whatever you called it. The Good Brothers, the Buenos Hermanos on AEW, are they faces or are they? I mean, what are they? And because on Impact,
because who was it? I mean, it was a commentator. I think it was Shivani that made a comment that was not a face-sounding comment towards them and their relationship with the Bucks. I mean, it's been so up and down because they were over at Omega's place, and the Bucks was kind of, they seem to be on the out. So
It's
I don't.
confusing. It's back and forth.
It's confusing, and there seems to be, we don't have that consistent integration week to week like we had with Impact initially. So you've still got Tony and Tony spots there, but you're not having as much going on with the weekly storylines there. So it's kind of hot and cold.
It is definitely hot and cold. But what wasn't hot and cold, just hot. Dude, Tully Blanchard came in swinging. Tully Blanchard and FTR, Wheeler and Harwood, accompanied by JoJo Dillon, JJ Dillon, Jericho used to call him JoJo, versus Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy Luchasaurus, and Marco Stunt. I absolutely love this. JJ Dillon, I know that they wanted him to get in the ring, but that probably wasn't the best for JJ Dillon. Maybe somebody sit on the ropes for JJ or something. It didn't look good on TV, but I loved Tully wearing his old Tully gear. Mm-hmm. I mean, new, but wearing the gear that he used to wear, that style. Yeah. Came in wearing the 10 pounds of silver, which was the United States champion from WCW way back in the day, the NWA days. And then the Wheeler and Harwood were wearing belts as well, tag team championship belts. I think those were the old WCW tag belts. Am I mistaken?
I believe you're correct.
I love the look. Holy smokes, what a great look. And to get the win, Mysterious Key Grip or somebody in a black hoodie interfered in the match. And I've smelled Shawn Spears. I mean, nothing personal, but I thought, you know what? That's Shawn Spears, because you got Tully there, and he came to see him in his match. Yeah, it's blonde Shawn Spears. I loved it. What was with the thing with Arn going 4-4? Are they going to try to do a 4 Horsemen without Ric Flair?
I don't know, and I think Arn. I'm envisioning this being more of Shawn Spears, the Revival, or FTR, and Tully. I think the JJ. I don't see the JJ thing necessarily being consistent weekly, and I think Arn was kept in the back just to acknowledge it. I would hope not. I mean, Arn's got his. He's pretty much attached to the hip with Cody right now. Yeah, I don't know how well that would be received. I think you need the spirit. They're going for the spirit of the 4 Horsemen as a tribute, but I don't think it would be another incarnation. I think that has been done so often.
I say, like you say, let them run together. Let the 3 of them work, and then have just Tully be around. I wasn't completely sold on Tully showing up at the beginning about a year ago, but you know what? Tully's been amazing. I think Tully's done a great job, and he's got the right guys with him too. And I thought he was doing great with Shawn Spears, but there wasn't too much movement there. Yeah, I think FTR is the right group for Tully Blanchard.
No, and I think it's the right group for Shawn Spears too. He seems to fit pretty well. It could really, really work. So and I mean, since FTR lost the tag team titles, they don't seem like they have been featured prominently. Hopefully,
you know why they're not featured? Because on Raw you can say bullshit, but when you're on AEW, you say motherfucker.
yeah. They started to try to get that quick, but they missed. He was fired up, man.
Yeah, he was on the turnbuckle yelling out at the crowd. Come on, man. I mean, it's not like you're in a 20,000 seat building where those aren't going to get on mic. You're in a half empty arena. That's getting picked up. You heard it, right?
Oh yeah, loud and clear. Before I actually heard anything, I heard the attempted edit. Right. And but then they didn't get it.
Come on, man. Right out of this scene and right out of this match here, again, I don't like that they brought JJ into the ring, because JJ needed to be helped out. So they went tight on Tony Schiavone's face, because he had an introduction to make, and it's going to be his new broadcast partner on AEW Dark Elevation. It's Paul Wight, and No More BS, which stands for
No More. A word, 2 words they can't say due to ownership and trademark, I'm sure.
Bologna sandwich? What?
No more bologna sandwiches. Yeah, he's on a diet.
Yeah. You look good.
Yeah, he did. He
And
looked good, and he looked happy to be there.
yeah, he looked happy. And he said, I got scoops. It's a Hall of Fame worthy talent, a huge asset, and it's not who you think. Tune in this Sunday to find out AEW's next major signing. They are going to have a big talent pop up on Sunday's pay-per-view. Matthew Damas, the predictor of predictors. Who is it? Joke answer first and then real answer after, please. Just for the listeners there, I want you to do the joke answer first because, I know that's what you're going to do, and then give us a real answer.
No, I'm perplexed by, it's not who you thought it was. I don't know who I thought it was at first. You know what?
Who did I think it was?
Man, I would pop really hard for Norman Smalley.
Okay, joke answer aside now. What do you got?
Man, let's see. So Hall of Fame worthy, that would most likely mean the person's not in yet, right?
Yeah. That's how I would hear that.
So, man, I'm something I should know, but I don't know. Is Foley in?
Foley, yeah, he's in.
Foley's in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can't. I'm just completely missing the freaking.
Well,
Foley,
we only have 4 days to wait, so or 3 days to wait. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Man, nobody jumps out at me right now.
Okay.
And I'm sure when it hits, it's going to be like, oh, that makes a ton of sense. But I mean, dude, I honestly don't know.
Okay. So you ready for me?
Yeah, I'm ready because I got no speculation.
Joke answer first, obviously. I literally was thinking of Gilbert.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But that's not going to happen. So, Hall of Fame worthy. Hall of Fame worthy. I'm going to throw it out there. This is a big noodle to throw against the wall to see if it sticks.
Oh my goodness.
This is a big noodle. Huge noodle.
I might be picking up what you're putting down now.
Huge noodle.
Yeah.
He had 20 years of destruction. 20 years, right? Debuted, had a huge send-off. If they pulled The Undertaker into AEW, Mark Calloway, Mark Calloway, that would be huge.
I don't think that is going to happen.
No, he's way too loyal to Vince, and that's there's nothing wrong.
But you know what? But you know what? In your build-up, man, in your build-up, I think much more likely and much more possible than that could potentially be Brock.
Okay. I was thinking a real American too.
Oh.
But he's already a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I think Brock is the biggest person you can get. I mean, there's another person that they've tried to get, but I don't know.
Throw the name out there. Say it.
I mean, it's the name that's always on the tip of the tongue is Punk.
There's a name right there. Boom, boom. CM Punk. Boom, boom.
I just Part of me wonders though if it was a Brock or a Punk, if you'd even tease it. I think that
they're trying to ramp up buys. You got to tease it.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true.
It's not a network.
I don't know, but
these are buys.
But I'm generally excited, and I mean it's the WWE talent coming over, teasing another talent. I mean it to a certain extent it takes me back to 1996, 1997.
Well, there was a new member of the NWO every week.
Yeah.
DiBiase in the stands, counting off 4, 5, and then number 6, and then it's X-Pac.
Hall of Fame worthy, which lends you to think that they're not in, or I mean, could it possibly be that they are a Hall of Fame talent, but actually coming out and saying Hall of Fame because you are specifically referencing the WWE Hall of Fame? Would that be too close legality wise? So, I mean, it's possible, I guess, that it could be, somebody who's already in, man. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we're excited. We're ready.
Yeah, 100%.
We want to hear your comments. We want to see who you think it's going to be. Comment on the video. Make sure you're liking and subscribing as well. This is downloadable. If you haven't done this yet, we haven't mentioned this in a while. Get on over to Facebook. Get on over to YouTube. How about Apple Podcasts? We're on Spotify. We're on Stitcher. Our friends over at Fight TV are still putting our content out there as well. Download the podcast. Subscribe to the podcast. Give us a like. It helps with the numbers as well. And again, take care of our sponsors. So we want to hear who you think it is. Let's just run through the rest of AEW here real quick. We kind of we didn't stall out, but we kind of spent a little bit of time on that, who it's going to be. Let's talk the main event. It was big money match, Matt. I was confused why he kept saying you're undefeated. What? You're undefeated? Oh, you're undefeated in 2021. That means he's going to win a lot of money.
Yeah,
I get it. I love the show. I thought the show was good. We got the hot go home with everybody in that match, who's going to be in the Casino Battle Royal. Are they going to have a Casino Battle Royal at every pay-per-view?
That sounds reasonable.
But do you want one?
Not especially. I still get a little confused by the Casino Battle Royal rules. I know you come in with your card deck, right? Like your suit or so. Right?
Yeah, you come in with the jacks or the queens or the kings, and then the ace comes in by himself or something like that. Or if you're the joker or the butt nut or whatever you are, you come in when you come in.
Yeah, so we'll see what direction they go.
Okay, that's AEW. Let's talk NXT. The reason we didn't spend a ton of time on NXT is because they didn't do a ton of business, to be completely honest. But they have overbooked next week's show. So I don't know if they plan on counterbooking against something they think AEW is going to have next week after the pay-per-view. But here's what happened on NXT last night. Tommaso Ciampa calls his tag team partner Toothless Timmy. That actually amuses the hell out of me. Toothless Timmy. They lose to Birch and Lorcan in your favorite non-title match.
Yeah, but the good thing is the champions won a non-title match, so I like that a little bit better.
Okay. They had Imperium on the ramp. Is Imperium checking out Toothless Timmy and Ciampa, or are they checking out the tag team champions who are also English?
Probably Toothless Timmy and his pal.
Toothless Timmy and his pal. Balor got confronted by Roderick Strong. Honestly, with Roderick Strong walking to the ring before they go to commercial break, I swear to God, it looked like he was holding his friendship bracelet, with the cracked hearts. He was going to turn it in, going, "That's it, it's over."
Well, that's quintessentially what happened.
Barf. Yeah. It was stupid. Honestly, stupid. Here's what we got out of the segment. Finn Balor took on Strong in the main event in a non-title match, but it was also set up to be Adam Cole and an NXT title match next week. That's the main event. They are giving away a pay-per-view quality match on free TV next week.
Yeah, and remember, titles never change hands on free TV.
What was the show we did yesterday morning talking about Lashley and then the Randy Orton Drew McIntyre match from a handful of months ago?
I tell you what, though, we're building to, WrestleMania and whatever they do with the takeover. I mean, this almost feels like it's made for Karrion Kross to get involved.
Huh. I think that's a good point.
And he was not on TV last night.
Yeah, I think you make a good point there. I got to see my man Cameron Grimes.
Yes.
Wants to rename the arena the Cameron Grimes Arena. So it was CGA, I think is what he called it. Mr. Regal came over, talked about the employee he assaulted last week. He goes, "How much does he want? 1, 2? I've got plenty of Kiss My Grits money. Kiss my grits." Good stuff. But what it led to, and this, I'm kind of making a segue here, it led to our man, L.A. Knight. Yeah, let me talk to you. In the ring, cutting his first promo for TV. That guy's a star. Holy smokes. A star.
I'm watching this, and this is his first appearance, his first appearance there.
First proper appearance.
First proper appearance. I'm not so sure that one appearance in, he's not the biggest star on Wednesday nights right now.
Holy smokes, he's a star. And he didn't even name anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, he named people. He said, yeah, you got your Finn Balor's. Yeah, you got your Adam Cole's. You got your Johnny Gargano's, in name title matches. And he stood around and waited for the Cameron Grimes Bronson Reed match. Caused a little interference to cost Bronson Reed the match, so maybe we'll have something with LA Knight and Bronson Reed, but there is no way Bronson Reed's going over on LA Knight. Let me talk to you. Yeah.
I can't think of a better segue than having LA Knight interfere so Cameron Grimes can pick up the victory. Like that's everything I like about NXT just wrapped up in one
Ted
right
DiBiase.
And it was interesting
right now,
because
Matthew, Cameron Grimes is, if you're not watching a whole show and you're watching on delay, Cameron Grimes is stop and watch.
Oh yeah, 100% week after week, no doubt about it.
And LA Knight, promo at the beginning, he said, "I'm not going to talk to you about dreams. Let me talk to you. I'm going to tell you about how I should be here, how I've been waiting to be right here. I may be the biggest star in this building right now." Wow. That's not just it's not just a something, it's a fact of life. I forget what the something is.
And I kind of like those blue
prediction.
Shades
it's not just
too,
a prediction, it's a fact of life.
He's got some pretty snazzy sunglasses.
The sunglasses bother me. That's the worst part about the whole thing. Well, I mean, the name, honestly, because, dude, when they showed the entire wraparound board, like the ribbons, they call it ribbons in the stadiums where you have the ribbon boards around the entire thing. Oh, my God. I was waiting for them to announce the opposing team.
Yeah. No, it sounds like an arena football team's name.
Yeah. And now your starting quarterback for the LA Knights. LA Knight. Yeah. I gotta keep working on my LA Knight impression.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it last night when I'm watching. Like, is it because it's the same syllable and same cadence as Eli Drake? LA Knight, Eli Drake.
That's why his name is why it is. I mean, because they had to get him something along the same cadence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only thing he didn't get to take with him was the Eli Drake, because Fact of Life is what he was using before.
Yeah.
That, and let me talk to you, dummy. All of that stuff is Eli Drake, but now he's L.A. Knight. And his hand gesture, L.A. Knight. Yeah. Again, I got to keep working on my my Eli Drake / L.A. Knight impression, but that's remember when
that's pretty
show?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I was loving it. I honestly loved just the guy's a star, and
look at his sequencing too. I mean, it was a little ways past the top of the hour. You kind of had the women's tag championship, but it was one of their main segments.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about a story about how he should have been in WWE the whole time and missed a talent call to the building and was late. Triple H said, "Look, dude, you got to be on time." And they let him go, and he goes, I messed up, and he's been working his way up here. And again, this guy is a star. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler defeat Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. Good match. I actually thought they represented well. Let's talk about Adam Pearce and William Regal, who were arguing over the finish. There's nothing coming there, right? I mean, because Pearce and Regal get into a shouting match.
Yeah, you might get it. You might get a rematch out of this. I don't think that it's necessarily going anywhere with Pearce and Regal. Poor Adam Pearce, man, that is one busy dude.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, Pearce, this is his on-screen role. Pearce's off-screen role is he's a trainer. I mean, he's one of the lead trainers down there, along with, Albert, A-Train, and a couple of the other guys down there. So that's just his on-screen role. I am so disappointed. I wanted to see the rest of the entrance of Breezango.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? I'm like, dude, they're doing like space stuff.
Yeah,
cool. They're coming out in like helmets.
Yeah. No, I want to, but to a certain extent, it was I don't know. I think there was some humor there in just seeing these astronauts attack.
Right, exactly. I was kind of disappointed. And after losing in the brutal street fight against Karrion Kross last week, Santos Escobar seemed intent on reasserting his dominance by leaving them both laying. So it is what it is. Main event, non-title match. Balor defeats Strong. So 2 non-title matches. The champions go over in both.
Yeah, and if you're going to do a non-title, I mean, I think that's the way you do it. You know, and again, what you book there is okay. These are the champions for a reason. They're picking up the victories. Yeah, they're wrestling. The contender hasn't earned a title shot, but again, it's WWE for the longest time. That seemed to be the formula.
Right, the
90%
50-50
of the
booking.
time, yeah. In higher than that, 90% of the time, it seemed like non-title matches, the challenger would win as a way of moving up the rankings. But NXT seems to be exercising a little bit better discipline on that right now.
Absolutely. Well, we've gone long. We've gone almost 36 minutes here, but Matthew, it is time. We are done. We've got one more big show tomorrow, and that's it. We will preview AEW's Revolution. We'll talk about SmackDown coming up tomorrow night, and again, we've got the big pay-per-view this Sunday. And normally, AEW pay-per-views are on Saturdays. They are pay-per-viewing it on Sunday this week because I believe Impact has their Impact Plus show this Saturday night, correct?
I believe it's this week. If it's not this week, it's next week. But yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, so for Matthew Thomas, I'm the man they call Meathead. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.